right, going to make lemon vanilla sage goat whey soap. So our recipe calls for 13 ounces of goat whey. Put on gloves. Lye will burn you. If you have not seen the movie Fight Club, this might be a spoiler, but there is a scene where they're making soap and Brad Pitt's character burns the other one with lye. Yes, it is undone with vinegar. It's handy to have some around. So set that aside. I buy my lye in bulk. Because even if I decided tomorrow that I hate making soap all of a sudden, it's still a drain cleaner. I got 6 ounces. I'm just going to do about 1/3 of it at a time. Feel it start to get warm on the bottom of the bowl. You want to keep it moving. Lye will burn the sugars in milk. We use a rubber spatula so we can feel that all the lye is dissolving. Even though the ice cubes are not all the way melted, that is fine. Our main goal is to make sure the lye is all dissolved in there. And it seems as though our lye has dissolved. Now, weigh up our fats. First thing we will measure up is the cacao butter because it takes the longest to melt. You can get it immediately at Whole Foods or you can order it for a better price on nuts.com. I go to nuts.com because I don't want to pay that much to Whole Foods. 1.5 ounces. Sometimes I even do a little less. Sometimes I'll only do 1.3. Now we will measure up 13 ounces of lard. This Walmart brand is just fine. Lard is lard is lard. You can also use tallow or shortening. Now we do 12 ounces of coconut oil. This is where you have time to wrap your mold in parchment paper so that you can pull your soap back out later. If you do not line your mold, it will be difficult unless your mold is silicone. If your mold is silicone, you'll be fine. But this is going to take a while to heat up to what's going to be about 140 degrees to melt everything. When it's almost melted, you've got just a few lumps in there, go ahead and pull the crock pot out and set it aside so that it can cool down a little faster. We're down to a 112.8 degrees and dropping. We're going to go ahead and do our fragrance oils real quick. Just mix up to about an ounce. You can do an ounce, 0.1 of your fragrance. All right, we reached 110 degrees. We're gonna pour this gently and slowly in there. Now we get to put in our immersion blender. And once we have that all mixed in really good, we're going to go ahead and add our fragrance. Color I have here is cosmetic grade iron oxide. We're really just using a tiny bit. This is only a 1/4 teaspoon and I didn't even fill it all the way up. Okay, now we can see a hint of the splashes and where the bubbles popped. So that's what's called leaving trace, and that is what we were waiting for. I'm just gonna pour that right in. This can end up with some air bubbles in it, so we'll just use our thermometer and just kind of swirl it around a bit. To help knock all those air bubbles out. Coax them up to the surface. We're not going to go too fast because we don't want to whip more air into it. I'll give it a pretty texture on it. And since this one has scents of clove and cinnamon, I'm going to put very pretty brown mica powder on top, because mica powder likes to clump. I like to put it through a sieve so it comes out just a little bit nicer. After a few hours, it will cool down and set. You'll have a solid bar that looks like that. Cover it to keep debris from landing on it, like I didn't, but that's okay. It's soap, it will wash off. My cutting board as a grid so that I can make my cuts more even. 12 bars, measuring about 3 inches by 3 inches by 1 inch. And we're going to put those into a paper bag or a cardboard box and set it aside for 4 weeks. Although in 1 week you can use one of these smaller pieces, break it in half, and go ahead and sample it. Make sure that it lathers the way you like and everything. But it will be fully cured after 4 weeks. This is good for hair, face, and body. Fair disclaimer, nothing in the world works great for everyone that uses it. So I hope this works for you, and enjoy. And that's it. That's soap. We made it.